I hadn't got that banging down near as well as Chairman Phillips, but I'm working on it. I want to welcome everyone to the August 7th, 2025 Budget, Finance, and Investment Committee. First thing to do is approve minutes from May 13th, 19th, 21st, 27th, 29th, 17th, and 18th. I'm going to turn that over to Vice Chairman Trey Gooch.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. When I saw the agenda and saw the 7 minutes, I had to do some fast reading, but I did so and I did not find any exceptions. My motion is to approve all 7 minutes as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. There were no public comments reported to me, so we're going to move on to our investment report. I'm not sure if we got that on the iPad tonight.
That is not on your iPad tonight. However, we can upload it after the meeting. We had an email miscommunication, so it was my fault that it did not get on your iPads tonight, but the trustee, Mr. Beatty, and me talked, and I can get that uploaded this evening, if that's okay with the committee.
I'm Ted Beatty, Rutherford County trustee. I'll be glad to kind of give you the information. We had a couple of bids over the last couple of months. I'm going to go back to June since we didn't, and our LGIP rate for June and July is the same at 428, which is where we've been for the last 4 or 5 months. We've got quite a bit of money in a money market. It's at 471, and that's been where it's been consistently, and will be tied to Fed funds, so that's held and that's great. We had a couple of bids, one in June, and we put some of the money on 1 year at 4.27 yield and 2 year at 4.10, a little over that yield. And then we had a bid in July, and we did on 2 year with a 4.15. So we got about 5 basis points more in July than we did in June. But we're just trying to, as we expect rates to drop in the future, to lock some in. So that's our investment report, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Beatty.
Thank you.
Michael.
Can we ask who the second was on that motion? Commissioner Piercy.
Okay, so next up is our fund condition report. Michael has been extra busy, and he's going to give us a summary of our condition report.
So a couple things. One thing that the Building Codes Department, they did provide us with their breakdown of school facilities tax and development tax. That is on your iPad. You do not have a fund condition report from me for either June nor July. We are just now this week closing the fiscal year, and as part of that, we'll also close July. So you'll have that from me next month. However, I will add that the year is closing well. Our estimates were well within ranges, so that no red flags came up as part of us closing the year. Our auditors have started their work, and so we hope to have the fiscal year closed probably Monday, everything wrapped up. So we'll have that for you in September. I'll provide the FY25 results and July and August results in the September meeting.
Any questions about Michael's?
Just a quick question. In property management the other night, it became apparent that a number of items are using fund balance, for lack of a better term. And I was wondering, going forward, if we could, and it's in here in a sense, I believe, not today, but it's in there, but I wonder if we could kind of get a cumulative hit to fund balance, what we are using. For example, the building that's being proposed is about $9 million. There's additional money for something in the forensic center. There's additional money that seems to always be hitting fund balance. And I'm not picking on those projects, I'm just mentioning those as examples. But, and I know it's sort of in here, but
I can give you a running total.
That'd be great.
Listed by item. We can start that in September if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great. And the goal is basically to kind of keep track of that vis-a-vis
And we have that, but I can put it in a summary format and put it with a fund condition report every month.
That would be great. That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. One thing I do want to note is at the end of the year, as most of you know, anything that's left over, say on a grant or some of the unspent monies is put back into the general fund. And usually this is the time of year we start seeing requests for that to come back out. And it looks like it's completely out of unfunded. However, it's something that they had turned in with the expectations of using it up. But anyway, I just wanted to make that.
And I appreciate that. And I think a net approach or
I've got a breakdown. So tonight, I'll go ahead and say you're going to see two things tonight. One of them is going to be a pause or animal control budget amendment. That's not going to be part of unassigned. I think what you're asking for is what we take out of our unassigned fund balance for these projects that we did not anticipate. And so I can have that breakdown. And then when these come up that are not a part of that, we can point those out for these grants that the chairman is talking about. But I'll have the unassigned for you in September.
exactly. Thank you.
Okay, since we have not actually had a report, I'm going to move on to our next item unless somebody wants to make a motion on that. Okay, let's move to item 5, risk management financial reports.
While the risk management director is making his way up here, the financial reports did not make it on your iPads. However, we just closed those funds that he has. I believe he can read those amounts to you tonight. They did not make it on your iPads. We just closed those last night about 9 or 10 o'clock. So if he could read those, I will also have those uploaded tonight for the record after the meeting. But if you want to read the 264, 266, I'll have those uploaded tonight.
Yep, I'll be happy to. Good evening. For the month of July 2025, revenue $1,781,286. Expenses $2,707,701. Revenue less expenditures for the month of July, a negative $926,415. Year-to-date, total revenue $14,216,066. Expenditures $16,761,218. Revenue less expenditures for the calendar year, a negative $2,545,153. And for the fiscal year, it's the same as your monthly total for the month of July. For the 266 fund, you have on workers' comp, you have $1,024.07. And for OJI, you have $51,237.04. Your total for the month and for the year to date, $52,261.11. Your legal fees for the month of July, $36,721.95. The county attorney expenses. So, and that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions on the report? Not, I'll entertain a motion. I have a motion to approve the report.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Sereno. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And you have another item.
Yes, sir, I do. The Insurance Committee made a recommendation for the DHMO rate. There was an increase, and you should, that one I did think made it to your iPads, and you'll see an increase for the employee only and the employee family. The employee only went from monthly from $14.46 to $14.97. Employee and family went from $44.94 to $46.51. And the recommendation from the Insurance Committee was to approve as it was exhibited.
Okay, you've heard the request from the committee. Any questions for our director?
Does this cost the county any additional, or is this purely?
Good question, and I should have said that before. This is a fully insured plan that is 100% paid by the employees. There's no cost to the county.
Any other questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion. Have a motion to approve. Second, Commissioner Irving. Any further discussion? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin? Yes. Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Piercy?
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno? Commissioner P?
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ed. All right, item 6, inducement resolution authorizing the issuance of revenue bonds for the Health and Educational Facilities Board. And Mr. Boland is here to work with us. We have done these in the past. I think most of you guys are well familiar with these. If we need additional information, we have people here to help us.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is, as the Chairman has said, a request for the issuance of a revenue bond for a project, in this instance, that has to do with a public-private partnership for student housing over at MTSU. If you'll recall, the process on revenue bond issuances is the Health and Ed Board approves the project subject to approval by the commission. And if the commission approves it, then it comes back to the board for final approval. The two things that I think probably the committee is most interested in is, number one, there's no liability to the county, to the board at all. And number two, this is not a request for a tax abatement. This is simply, we're a conduit issuer for the financing for the project over there. You've been given a PowerPoint presentation that I think pretty well describes what the project is, what it looks like, what the plan of financing is. And there also, I think in your packet is a copy of the resolution. I can answer the Cliff Notes questions, but I also have several people here that can speak to specific items on the request, like what are we building and why are we building it and things of that nature. And then we also have someone who could address the financing aspect of it. But so I'm happy to give you as much or as little information as you want.
And I'll leave that up to our committee there. Any questions from the committee members about this proposal? And as I said, this is something we've done in the past. We're basically a conduit. Have a motion to approve.
Second.
2 seconds. Commissioner Johnson. I think he beat Commissioner Sereno out. Any further discussion?
Just,
Well, it's a not to exceed $60 million amount. So that, which is common, that's how it's always referenced.
You're recognized.
thank you. It's just a comment. I would have liked to have seen this before tonight. When was this on the SharePoint? I don't recall it.
So some of that is from our office struggling to get it uploaded. They did send this, I believe, last
And
week, maybe.
I'm not blaming. I'm just trying to make a comment that if I had seen this, I might could have had a chance. I'm not blaming anybody.
And we're not trying to rush this either, and as Sumner has said, we have people here to answer any question that you might have. Like I said, this is kind of a routine thing that we've done in the past where we're a conduit to facilitate these at no cost to the county. But like I said, we can go into any detail that you need.
No cost, no liability also?
None.
Okay. So this is like a statutory approval of some sort?
Yes, well, the board is the vehicle by which the tax exempt revenue bonds can be issued. So we literally are a conduit,
And these are federal tax exempt.
yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Irvin, I appreciate that comment because I don't like voting on something that I haven't had a chance to digest. And had this not been in this form and me being familiar with it, I'd have the same question. So thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call roll.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin? Yes. Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Piercy? Yes. Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes, motion carries.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, the next three items are applications for grants. Item 7, I think Mr. Lodell will be presenting these.
Chairman, Commissioners, John Lodell, Director of the County Archives. Going after 3 grants. It's items 7, 8, and 9 on the agenda. You may have to vote on them independently. I don't know how that works, but I'm going to talk about 7 and 8 together because they're almost identical grants and then 9 separate. So the first 2 are for the archives operations. If you remember a year ago, we hired a digital archivist. So what we're doing this year is going after these grants to buy equipment, specifically scanners, 3 different types of scanners. These are federal money and state money, both of those appropriated through the Tennessee State Library and Archives, 100% funded by them, no match on our side. So that comes to $11,632. And then the third grant is for museum operations downstairs. It's 2 pieces. This is state money appropriated through the state museum. And we're going to go after $11,780 to do 2 things. One is to improve security down there, specific to artifacts and cases, to improve the security we already have in place, but it's going to be way better. And then the second part is we do have artifacts that are stored at the county archives that when they're not on exhibit. And last year we went after a grant for shelving for those items. This year we're going to go after items to better conserve those artifacts and to better store those artifacts. And the point here is go after grants so we don't use county archives money for museum operations. And that's been successful for us. So that's what that third grant's about.
John, I heard you say that at least one of these was no match. Is that correct?
All 3 are no
All
match.
3 are no match.
All 3 are no
I want
match.
to clarify that. Any questions for Mr. Lodell?
So we're talking about 7, 8, and 9, a total of about $22,000.
Yes, total's $23,412 for all 3 grants.
For items 7, 8, and 9, motion to approve, Mr.
You're asking for a permission to apply and accept these grants since they're no match, correct?
Correct.
And
Motion
I
to
have a
approve.
motion to accept all 3. Can we take it as one, Michael?
But
Okay.
if he can add to his motion to approval to apply and accept them since they're no match.
Approve to apply and accept because they're no
Okay,
match.
do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a second. Any questions for Mr. Lodell? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin? Yes. Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Piercy? Yes. Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Item 10, Animal Control Budget Amendment. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. Michael Gregory with Rutherford County Pauls. We have some grant money that was received in last fiscal year, like Michael talked about earlier, moving that over into this fiscal year so that we can get those grants expended. There is one thing that's a little bit different. One of the projects is going to cost a little bit more than the grant that we received, so we're asking to pull $15,000 from the Pauls donation line to finish that part of the grant out for that project.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. And a second to approve the grant application, and any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I was just curious on the 15,000.
The Paul's donation line item. Yes, sir. And years ago, even before my time, that money was set aside into a specific Paul's account by the commission, just for our purposes.
Any other questions for the director? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Commissioner Gooch? Yes. Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin? Yes. Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Piercy? Yes. Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes, motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Appreciate it.
Item 11, Health Department contract. And I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and your position.
Of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Sydney Butterfield. I am the new director at the Health Department. It's been about 3 months, so I think I've seen most of you at the commission meeting. Today, I'm bringing you our annual contract that is between the county, Rutherford County, and the state of Tennessee, and it is a zero-match grant contract. It covers 47 of our positions, including benefits, salaries, travel, and translation service that we utilize. And it is fully reimbursed by the state. The county fronts the money, and it's reimbursed monthly.
And this is the one we do yearly.
Yes.
Have a motion to approve. Second, Commissioner Irving. Any questions or further discussion? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Gooch? Yes. Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin? Yes. Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Piercy? Yes. Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes. Motion carries. And Sydney, I want to thank you, and it's good to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right. Item 12, 13, and 14, I think Director Clark is on his way up to present those to us.
Chairman, committee. I believe on the first item, number 12, Emergency Management Relocation Assistance Agreement, I believe that there's no money involved. What this is in the event that our Emergency Operations Center is incapacitated or not functional, we can move to the Ag Center, and there's an understanding of what would occur if that happened. I've reached out to Mr. Tuggle, and he agreed, and we're coming in front of this committee to get approval for the mayor to sign that agreement.
Any questions?
Is this just for use, or is this to move everything as well?
It is to, if we end up losing our roof and we needed to continue our operations, we can move to the Ag Center to fulfill the needs of the county.
Okay. Would you need additional money to move everything?
Most of us, we can, yes, move what is necessary to do our job functions during that time. Okay. Computers.
Is that covered somewhere else? Is that?
Usually we have just laptops.
Oh, okay.
And we're pretty mobile.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, you've heard the request. Any other questions? If not, we'll entertain a motion to allow them to move to the Ag Center in place of, they get the roof ripped off the EOC. Okay, I have a motion and a second, or vice versa, Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Irving. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 13.
The next item is a hazardous material emergency preparedness grant that we do annually. This had actually fell in our scheduling because last year we was all in a struggle trying to get this approved before the deadline ended. We are requesting to train our hazmat technicians here in Rutherford County, including Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Laverne, Rutherford County, a class called Hazmat IQ, which helps us identify hazards, what kind of personal protective equipment we need, and also how we mitigate the issue. Basically, it works off of a periodic table and so forth. The cost of a basic and advanced 60 personnel trained in basic and advanced would be $32,290. It's an 80-20 grant, and our portion would be $6,458. $6,458.
So you're asking for permission to apply, is that correct?
Permission to apply.
Okay, so
We'll be
this is
coming
for
back.
permission, this is not for money right
Correct.
now. Any further questions on this 80-20 grant request? No questions, we'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Piercy
Second.
has a motion to approve applying. Commissioner Irvin has a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Please continue.
Last but not least, it is a request to apply for a mitigation grant. This was released after the disaster Helene in West Tennessee. We are requesting to apply for a large mobile generator, which we would, with that generator that's mobile, we would apply switches into certain buildings such as OIT, the health department, and Paul's. In the event they have a problem, we bring the generator over to that location. The switches will be there, hook up, and we would have our normal operation. The second item is BDAs, which is kind of a repeater type system that would be located in the Sheriff's Department and the Judicial Center. And then we're asking for generators at Milton Tower, the Sheriff's Department, CID building, and also their narcotics office building. And then last but not least, another generator to replace the old generator at our 910 Old Salem Highway EMS station. The total of that is $1,045,686. Federal share is 75%. The state will kick in 12.5%, and we would owe $130,710.85. So we would actually only be held responsible for 12.5% of that $1,045,686. Request to apply.
Are you trading in, for instance, that old one that we have, or is that part of this bid process? How have you done that?
The old.
You said you had, one of these is replacing it.
Yeah, so the generator at EMS is over 20 years old and needs to be replaced. And that would be the only one that we would actually replace just due to its reached end of life.
Okay.
Question, is the 130 in your budget?
No, sir.
Okay, where's the money coming from?
That would be the request of the Budget Committee.
I mean, my expectation, okay, is just a comment, another comment, I'm sorry. My view is when someone comes and asks for money, and I'm not picking on you or anybody else, but when someone comes in and asks for money, I would hope, it's just my thought, that you would have talked to not you, but whoever, the person asking for additional money would have gone to the finance director, gone and kind of lined up $130,000. I mean,
I think they will, Chris will, I think when they come back and actually ask, since I think he's just requesting to apply tonight, if my understanding is correct.
Correct.
He did reach out a month ago, maybe, I don't know. And I don't know that he knew the exact amounts at that point, but 90% this will come out of unassigned fund balance, is probably what I told him about a month ago. I told him to come back when we nailed down if we got it or not, because it could be several months from now, I think was kind of the thought process on that.
That's correct. And I'd reached out to Finance Director. We spoke at length about it, and that since we're just applying for the grant and we have not received a contract, it's all preliminary.
That's fair.
I basically cut down on my storytelling.
Is it working? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm just, and I'm not, like I said, not picking on you, but there seems to be a lot of folks that do come through and ask, well, we got to find the money. Okay, well, it's probably coming out of fund balance. I get that. And that's probably the answer in this case. But I'm just, every time somebody comes through, it seems like they're saying, oh, I don't know. They look over at Michael, who, yes, Michael is expert in this area. But I mean, I'm not picking on you. I'm just making a general comment because it seems.
I agree.
And
But when we were preliminary on applying for a grant, we don't know if we're going to get it or not. And until we get a contract and you say go, prior to our contract, right before we get our contract and you come in there, we will have that worked out.
Okay, so the request tonight is to apply for the grant, and our match, if it is awarded, would be, I think you said 12.5% of whatever that total is, which basically 1.45. At any rate, any other questions for Mr. Clark? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion. I have a motion to approve applying.
Second.
Okay, have it also a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So you can apply.
Thank you.
Now, item 15 and 16, agreement for non-emergency ambulance transport. Welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners. Brian Gaither, EMS Director. The first item is an agreement with Trust Point for non-emergency transport. The main thing with this whole document is what we will charge them for their transports, which is the Medicare allowable. This document has been worked on for 6 months, longer, 9 months, between Eric and Nick Christensen and Trust Point's attorney. It's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth multiple times, and all parties have agreed on this document.
Okay, you've heard his request to transport for Trust Point.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions from the committee? Is there any cost associated with this to us?
No, sir.
This was basically us billing Trust Point for transportation.
Our charges to them.
Okay, just allowing us to do that. Any other? I have a motion to approve. Commissioner Piercy. Commissioner Johnson seconds the motion. Since we're not transferring, well, let's call roll on this one just to be safe.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin? Yes. Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Piercy? Yes. Commissioner Serrano?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes, motion carries. Please continue.
And we are requesting permission to apply to Christy Houston for a grant to replace our cardiac monitors. We are asking to purchase 25. The total cost is somewhere around 1.2, and looks like it's going to be our part's about 52%. Theirs is 48% is what they will pay. There's a little movement in those figures depending on what we do with the maintenance versus if we lump it in with the initial purchase or do it annually, which could bring that figure down a little bit. we're wanting to do this now instead of waiting. Our current monitors are aging, and we are trading those in. And the sooner we trade them in, the more value we get from the trade-in.
So this is an estimate of the cost.
Yes, sir.
So is this in your budget?
It is not in our budget. I have had conversations with Michael. It will come out of our end fund balance.
So a $600,000 match, basically, or right around there?
I'm sorry?
Is it about $600,000 match?
Yes, about 550 is what I was thinking.
Okay. Okay, I'm obviously okay with this, but to that list of things that, to fund balance items, can you, Michael, also add a list of potential additional matches that will be required? Because 600,000 is a lot. I'm not saying it shouldn't be done. But I'm just saying we're starting to add those up too. And we've got, in other words, a certain amount of money coming out of fund balance. Get that. But we also got a fair amount of money, it sounds like, starting to add up on the side of potential match money we're going to have to come up with too. And I just think this would be a good idea to kind of start keeping up with that. So that's a request, and I thank you for answering.
Brian, if Christy Houston is not able to help us here, what's your plan?
We will probably wait till next year and try to budget for it.
Okay.
It's really our only option.
So you're requesting permission to apply to Christy Houston?
Yes, and then if it's accepted, it will have to come back through all committees prior to the funding portion.
Okay, you've heard the request. Any further questions from the committee? Not, I'll entertain a motion. Have a motion to approve them applying. Commissioner Johnson.
Second.
And a second, Commissioner Sereno. Any further discussion? All in favor of them applying, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Items 17 and 18. Application and acceptance for the Violent Crime Intervention Grant.
Good evening. I'm Steve Spence, the Deputy Chief at the Sheriff's Office. We're requesting to apply for the State of Tennessee Violent Crime Intervention Grant. This is a no-match grant. If approved, we request that the mayor be able to sign and to accept the grant. The funding is based on the population of the county, roughly between $650,000 to $700,000 we request.
Okay, any questions on asking for permission to apply and accept, have the mayor sign, I guess, for this no-match grant?
Yeah, well, last year they weren't going to open up this fall, but they decided to, so it's going to go for year by year.
Any other questions for Chief Spence? If not, I will entertain a motion to allow them to apply. Have a motion, Commissioner
Second.
Piercy, second, Commissioner Gooch.
And I do have a question, if I may, Mr.
Please continue.
What are some examples of a violent crime intervention?
What we're going to use it for is LPRs, license plate readers, and then a device to read shell casings. If we find shell casings on the scene, we can match them with other crimes to identify that weapon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Yes. Commissioner Irvin? Yes. Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Piercy? Yes. Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes, motion carries. Please continue.
We were requesting to apply for the State of Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security School Resource Officers Grant. This grant runs from July 1st of 2025 to June 30th of 2026. This is a no-match grant. We are applying for $3,825,000, which comes out to $75,000 per school. If approved, we request that the mayor be able to accept and sign. This would be our third year applying for this grant.
And again, a no-match grant.
Yes, sir.
This grant is also already part of the budget. So we covered a little bit of this when we budgeted for the FY26 year that we're in. So this has already been budgeted in our revenue.
So this is part of the governor's initiative, so.
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a motion or more questions? Motion to approve, Commissioner Irving. Second, Commissioner Johnson, thank you. Any further discussion? Call roll on this one, too.
Mr. Gooch? Commissioner Harris? Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Piercy? Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay, item 19 is a report on debt obligations, GO bonds. We do not need to vote on this, but we do need to report to you. Michael?
So this is required that I present this to the governing body, so we'll present it tonight here. I'll answer any questions you have, and then it'll be at commission as an information item as well. It's on your iPads. Every time we issue debt, we have to give a report to the body, and so we did our most recent debt issuance in July. That was for the school's new middle school and for the Laverne High School addition. We had approved those projects several months prior, but we did not issue the debt until July. I believe we closed on the 28th or 29th, or 30th, I'm sorry, 30th. You can see our true interest rate cost right there is 4%. You can see the closing cost, you can see the amortization schedule. This bond debt issuance did have a premium. That's why you see the coupon rate at 5%, but our true interest cost is right at 4%. With any questions, I'll take any questions, but we do this every time. We file a report with the Comptroller's Office. They approve it, and then we present it to this body.
Any questions from the committee about the report? Seeing and hearing none, let's move to item 20, dead stock removal contract.
So every year, we have this contract, and so we have already budgeted for this, and so we typically try to bring this a little sooner, but we got it in July or late June, and so we brought it as soon as we could. This is already part of the budget. It is $42,937 a year, and they invoice us twice a year. But that is already part of the budget that we covered, so this is just approval of the contract.
I have a motion to approve and a second. Royal Commissioner speaks up. Been there, done that. Any other questions? Call roll, please.
Mr. Gooch? Commissioner Harris? Commissioner Irvin? Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Piercy? Commissioner Sereno? Commissioner P?
Yes. All right. Next item is a purchase agreement for real estate acquisition of 120 East Main Street. And I'm going to call on the mayor, but also Mr. John Carney is here, who has helped us with this endeavor, and I'd like for him to be able to speak also, if there's no objection from the committee.
Could we also have Mr. Nick Christensen, County Attorney, come up as well?
Also. Guys, y'all would come on up. Nick? Sorry about that.
So we, as this committee, the commission knows, we have a significant problem developing at the Goldstein building. Adam Dodd and Bob Warren have done a review of the Goldstein building, and it's reaching a significant state of disrepair, whether it's the HVAC system, which would cost about $1 million to replace, the elevator system, or the roof, which would be another $1 million. I think we had an estimate a couple, 3 years ago that we about anywhere between, depending on how we programmed the building, between $5 to $8 million to renovate that facility for office space, but in so doing, it probably still not for long-term use would be suitable. So what we decided to do is try to find alternative administrative office space, especially for those departments in the Goldstein building. It's about 30, 35 employees, 4 different departments. And then in so doing, we approached Richard Sandoval about the Bank of America building over here on East Main, which used to be the Commerce Union building. Thanks to Chairman Phillips, we started that process several months ago, and then quite honestly, in about April or May, we kind of got tied off in other things. And I don't want to say we dropped the ball, but we got tied up into budget and getting the transfer station open and funding for the forensic center. And so Chairman Phillips, thank you, had the idea of let's reach out to Mr. Harney, a professional in these matters, and maybe he could facilitate and expedite things. And so I'm grateful for John and Chairman Phillips, your action on this. We are now to the point where we have an agreement, and I would like, Mr. Chairman, if there's no objection, to let John and Nick kind of explain the agreement and the process. Just briefly about the building. I think Mr. Sandoval describes it as about 26,500, 26,800. Is that right,
Usable
John?
about 27,000 feet.
27.
Actual say it's over 30.
Yeah, that's right.
About 27,000.
That's right. So there's a discrepancy between the assessor's office and what Mr. Sandoval describes it as. It is 3 floors. It has approximately 60, 65 parking spaces available to it. The facility is about, I think it was built in the late 70s, is that right?
78.
78, right, John? And so the last time it was inspected by Bob Warren, about 3 or 4 years ago, Bob described it as having good bones, which is an essential part of the evaluation process. And so I'm going to let, if it's all right, and there's no objection, I'm going to let John explain the process and Nick explain the legal ramifications that are required for the next 20 days, 120 days as we inspect the building. John?
Okay, thank you. Basically, we have negotiated what I'd call an option contract to purchase a property for $9.2 million, contingent on the full commission agreeing and giving the mayor authorization to sign the contract. $9.2 million. Now, the reason I say option contract is if the commission and all the committees agree to let the mayor sign this, that opens up a 120-day inspection period. The county would put up $50,000 refundable earnest money. The county would have 120 days to do every kind of inspection to determine how good the building is, what kind of shape it's in. The building has had quite a bit of work done on it in the last few years. For example, it's got a 20-year warranty roof on it that's got another 10 years left. They've replaced some of the HVAC components. They've renovated one of the elevators and is renovating another one now. Quite a bit of remodel has been done in the building. But like anything, it needs a thorough examination. Like the mayor said, both structural, roof, mechanical systems, thoroughly investigate the building to make sure it's useful and can fill the needs of what the county needs. If after that 120 days that it looks like we need to continue to pursue the building, we've got built into the contract another 90-day permitting period. If you give notice after the 120 days, the first $50,000 goes non-refundable but applicable to purchase price. County would put up an additional $50,000, and then there would be a 90-day permitting period to basically go further with trying to investigate the cost of reservation, how this is going to work, if it works best for the county. And then actually there's built in 3 30-day extensions to the permitting period. So theoretically you could have 300 days to examine the building. And then you've got to give notice, are we closing, or are you walking away? There would be some non-refundable earnest money at that time if you walk away. But basically you've got a look at the building for 300 days. And then if it meets all the criteria and decides the county wants to buy it, then you would close on it within 45 days. To give you some parameters, and we just had a new Class A building bid here in the last few months. If you build a new Class A building like this building today, it'll run somewhere between $400 and $450 a square foot, not counting the land, to build a Class A, and by that I mean common lobby building with all the amenities, and that doesn't count the land. It's just like going and buying a used car. You've got to thoroughly check it out before you decide if it's a good buy or not, and that's basically what needs to happen with this building. But there's been quite a bit of money spent on it. Some people have toured through it. A lot of you need to tour through it. But this is what's been negotiated, and of course it has to go through all these various committees to get your approval, and then it goes to the county commission. And if the county commission votes, then it would authorize the mayor to sign and start this process. But the seller has already signed the contract agreeing to the $9.2 million in these terms, and I'm jumping into your court, Nick. But basically, that's the broad base of it. Sitting on about 1.2 acres of land. Of course, y'all, I think, know where it is, right here off the square. But that's the basics of the deal. But in these thorough investigation to make sure, number one, what kind of shape it's in, and number two, how much money have you got to spend on it to determine, to make it feasible for the county to purchase it.
John, how many square feet did you estimate again? I know there was a discrepancy there at the first.
Well, got a site plan that says it's a little over 32,000 square feet. Tax rolls say it's between 30 and 32,000. Appears from touring it, there's about 27 to 28,000 usable square feet in the building, roughly.
Do you know an estimate of what inspections of the building will cost?
I think the county has already done some investigation on that and can answer that better than I can.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. We did get a quote from Mr. Warren, and this is just an initial estimate. So this would be a floor, and his quote was for $15,667. Having said that, Mr. Smith and I agree that it would be appropriate to put a little bit more cushion in there than that. So the request for the motion tonight would be for 9.5, and anything that's unused would go back to the fund balance.
And that would be to inspect it from the ground up, everything?
That's correct, and I think, John, that process is going to probably take the entirety of the 120 days. Would that be accurate?
Well, depends on who you hire and how motivated they are. But basically, I mean, you got to do a structural inspection. Got to inspect every mechanical system in the building. I have roof inspections done all the time, but even though it's got an additional 10 years left on the warranty, it needs to be inspected. The renovations that have gone on the building certainly need to determine how well they've been performed, and they're in process of renovating the second elevator now, but a lot of times we involve the state to call in an elevator inspector to make sure that what we're seeing has been passed by the state and is approved. There's several steps to the process.
Mr. Chairman, just a couple
Recognized.
Okay, you'd mentioned 450 a square foot plus land. Any estimate of the land value, and then what are we buying the building for on square foot basis?
Well, I haven't run the rough math on it, but you're 9.2 million, so let's just say it's 30,000 square feet, and roughly that's $300 a square foot with the land.
Okay, that's including the land.
That's including the land.
So what is land going for around this area?
Well, that's pretty hard to put a value on that, where it is and what it is.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to get a sense.
I'd probably need an appraiser a lot smarter than me, because it's hard to find comparables to property downtown Murfreesboro of that size, just land, to do a comparable on.
Okay.
But I would say it's got to be $1.5 million plus for the value of the land.
Okay, $1.5 million. So for the land.
I'd say $1.5 million plus for the land.
Plus, okay. Okay, and then you estimated, and then the building itself, to build it, would be 30,000?
Between $400 and $450 a square foot.
All right, and that's for...
So if you just said 30,000 foot building, probably 12 million to 13 million, 13.5 to build the building on a piece of land.
Okay, that'd be brand newish.
Right, brand new.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to get a sense there. Was there, and just on the legal side, we have, just to reiterate what was said in property management, we have the absolute out during the inspection period, except for a few potential fees.
Yeah, so basically you pay $50,000 out of the gate when the contract's signed, but that's refundable within the first 120-day inspection period. And for whatever reason, if we don't want the building, we give notice of that and we get our $50,000 back.
Right, for any reason.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I wanted to follow up one question, and it's a question I asked the mayor, and I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot, but I'm trying to get a sense for a lease buy type analysis. Okay? Was any kind of analysis along those lines done? I know the mayor indicated to his knowledge at that point there wasn't. But has any thought been given to it since then, or, the relative benefit that could result from a lease buy type scenario?
Well, I haven't been asked to do any kind of analysis like that.
Okay, because I don't know about the sellers. They may not be interested in it. Okay, but there may be another party, and I don't know if this contract's assignable. I haven't studied that part, but it might be possible to save a lot of money. Often, it sometimes is, by selling it to having a third party buy it and then leasing it from them for a long period of time. And I was curious if anybody has kind of thought through that analysis in terms of leasing it for a lot less even than potentially even the 9 versus buying it outright for 9 and then taking into account time value, money, and all that kind of stuff with that. But I'm just trying to think through that. Has anybody, or would you be willing to provide that information to do that kind of analysis?
Well, I sell a lot of investment properties. We own some, Class A buildings and that sort of thing. What it's going to boil down to, an investor is going to look, what is my cap rate of return?
Right.
If I buy the building and lease it back to the county.
Right. But for example, we can't use the depreciation, but somebody else might.
Right, right.
And so there's trade-offs there that might reduce the overall cost. I'm not hearing that anybody's done that analysis. No? Okay.
Mr. Chairman Harris.
John, has the seller agreed to pay for repairs that we find during the inspection report, or is that something that we got to negotiate?
That would be something you'd have to negotiate. You'd find major flaws in the building that during that 120 days, I would want to identify them and identify those costs. And if they're deficient, that's something that would have to be discussed with the seller.
We got air units that are going to be probably real old or could be possible have to be replaced. Is that something that we'd have to ask them to pay for, or they would?
That would be a negotiation. That's the reason for the 120 days is to do an investigation. They've mentioned that they've replaced a chiller and they've done some things, but like any building that's got some age on it, there's probably all varying pieces of it.
But is there anything in the contract that you give them that can come out of the contract? Say, for instance, we find $1 million worth of things and they don't want to fix it. Can they pull out, or is that just that would have to be us?
Yeah, I think that that's us for that 120 days.
You got it right.
And so if we find something so significant like that and we need to raise it to them or say, hey, if you don't do this, then we're walking, we have that ability.
Right.
Commissioner Piercy.
Does a realty company have this listed? I couldn't hear the beginning of this when y'all first started. Who's your go-through person?
Well, go ahead.
My understanding, and John knows too, I think this has been listed, there's a big sign on there, but it's been listed for a while now, and I think the seller has been trying to solicit offers and has had other ideas for the building, but then when he was approached in this regard, he was amenable to selling the property.
Are you dealing directly with the owner, or are you going through a realty company?
Oh, we're dealing directly with an owner. There is a broker involved on the seller side, but we have met directly face-to-face with the owner.
Will the broker charge us a percentage on top of the price that's been asked?
No, part of what our negotiation entailed is that the seller is taking care of all brokerage fees, so the county's not responsible for any brokerage fees, including Mr. Harney's.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions from the committee? I've got a couple of comments that I want to throw in. I see a need for more office space. And one of my questions here is, with the people that we're looking at possibly moving into this building, how much space is going to be left, or will there be any left? Will it be fully occupied by offices that we're moving in there now? Can anybody answer that one for me? And if not, the reason I'm saying this, like I said, I see a need for expanding our office space, and I'm not against this at all, but I do want to look at other options if there are, larger capacity buildings out there. And what I like about this contract, from what I'm reading and hearing, is that we have those options. If we were to stumble across something else within this time period, we could possibly do that. I personally feel like this is a good investment from what I'm seeing on the price. And yes, we've tried to acquire land, not necessarily downtown, so I'm assuming that would be quite a bit more. But anybody that's done any acquiring of any commercial property here in Rutherford County, it's quite expensive. Having said all this, this is why I've been waving the flag, say, hey, we need to look at the State Farm building too. I know I've said that several times, but there are some opportunities that we have as a government, and we are growing quickly. And so, like I said, I'm not adverse at all to this particular proposal, but I do want to continue looking, because I know within the next couple of years we're going to need to expand even more. Commissioner Pearson.
Are there any plans at this point for the old State Farm building? Will it be sold or to recover some of this investment? Any ideas there?
Commissioner, I have not looked into it. I don't know if anyone else is up here. I know the mayor and I had a short discussion one day about it.
So a couple of years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, Commissioner, State Farm, it's a leasing group that owns that building.
Right.
State Farm.
They're on lease.
That's correct. And
No. I said the State Farm, the Goldstein building.
okay.
I know about
I heard you say State Farm. I heard you say.
I did, I misspoke.
So I'd say, so what is your question about Goldstein again? I'm sorry.
Are there plans for it? Will it be sold? Will it be tore down? And
Well-
will you renovate it after we spend this money?
Any plans for the Goldstein building would take place beginning at property management. I do have some ideas about that, but those are just ideas, and so those ideas would be shared with property management, and then run through the proper committee system, ultimately finding them way here. But nothing definitive has been determined about the Goldstein building if we could consummate this sale.
Has this subject been to property management?
Yes.
What was their reply?
Their vote on the BOA was 7-0 in favor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe just real quick, just piggybacking off of that, Commissioner Piercy, to explain the process. So it started in property management last week. As the mayor stated, it was a 7-0 positive recommendation to forward it to this committee for funding. And then from here, it needs to go to the purchasing committee on Tuesday, August 12th. And from there, it would need to go to the county commission next Thursday. So it's hit all three of the requisite committees and then the county commission for final approval.
Kind of sounds like we're in a hurry.
Well, it's been listed, and I think that the seller has entertained a number of other offers. John may be able to know what's going on with that. I mean, I think the seller had recently just advertise the building in a pretty large landscape advertisement. And so that's just the nature of the deal. A lot of this stuff needs to close pretty quick to get somebody under contract. So it's not atypical for a commercial transaction to have gone through the last month and a half that we have with negotiations, getting a written contract drawn up and getting it under contract. Because as you can see, there's an elongated period of time following the execution of the contract. You've got the 120 days plus the 90 plus an additional 45 to closing. So you're looking at sometime, if we exercise all of that time, sometime in February or March before you're closing on this deal.
The one thing's a little unique about this building, there are 9 tenants in the building right now, except for one lease. Any of those can be terminated by the existing owner of the building, but several of those tenants would like to stay. So I don't know anything about the needs of the county, but if it came down to it and the county's got immediate needs for, let's say, 15,000 feet or 20,000 feet, that the building is built, you could easily have tenants in the building paying rent, move them out as the county finds more need for space. That's not always the case in some buildings. It's not like you got the building and kick everybody out the day you buy it, and there's no income and you got vacant space sitting there if you don't have a need for it.
How long have y'all been working on this project? That you just discovered it was for sale?
No, sir. This piece of property initially came to our attention back in November. I was literally coming down East Main, coming to work one morning, and the Goldstein building is just one of those things that's on my mind on a pretty regular basis. And I came by the Truist building, which is that 5-story building, catty corner. It's the building I was telling you about, Mr. Chairman. And I thought that building, that looked like it, because I saw a big lease. I saw a lease sign out there. I didn't know who owned it. I wondered if they would be interested in selling it. I had Mr. Hennessy contact them. Mr. Sandoval replied that he wouldn't be interested in selling that particular building, but he owned the building across the street, catty corner. And it was at that point that Eric and I began discussion and conversations with Mr. Sandoval and his attorney and the family about this potential sale of the building. I guess on or about May or June is when Chairman Phillips contacted you, John, and then John got involved, and that's where we are today. That's kind of the summary of the course of events. The building was not listed. We approached them, is what I'm saying.
Maybe trying to do leases.
Yes, that's correct.
Not necessarily sales.
That's right.
I have a little problem with, it seems like we're in a hurry-up situation to get it bought.
So,
And if you've been working on it since November and come tonight, you're asking us to approve what? The 9.2 million or just what?
the motion will be for 9.5, which would include any necessary inspections required for the 9.2 million purchase of the facility. To your comment about it seems like we're in a rush, to a certain extent, Mr. Piercy, Commissioner Piercy, we are because of our situation with the Goldstein building. We have gotten numerous independent reports that we have a $1 million replacement HVAC system over there. We have another $1 million in roofing that we've got to replace. And the challenge this county has is we've got 4 essential departments that if we were to renovate the Goldstein, we got no place to relocate them. And we got an election cycle coming up. And so we've got this perfect storm brewing, and we're in desperate need of additional administrative office space. So the rush is something we've been working on for a while, and it's because of the need.
Maybe the rush is to me, come in here and sit down, I don't know what time it is, hour and a half ago, and to be asked to approve 9.2 million or 9.5 million to buy a building and expect to get an answer tonight, to me that's rushing, because I hadn't heard anything about this until tonight. I know very well we probably could use the building,
but we can exercise Mr. P's ideas of looking at other options. If we vote to fund this tonight, it's a done deal. You buy the building, it will move on. That's the reason I said it was a rush.
So, and I hear exactly what you're saying, and to that point, I think that's why John and Nick negotiated this 120-day period, that for any reason, if we find, for whatever reason, I think, is that not right, John?
Yeah.
Nick, for whatever reason, if we change our minds, for whatever reason,
You walk away.
we can change our minds without penalty, with the exception of any inspection costs that we may have incurred. So just because we may vote tonight and at the purchasing meeting and at the commission meeting, the concrete is in no way dry around our feet on the purchase of this building until 120 days. That's when we got to make another decision. Am I saying that right,
and
John?
that's when, at the end of 120 days, the county would have non-refundable $50,000 if you go to the 121st day. Then the permitting period starts, and that's another $50,000. But let's say you go through that 90 days and you find something extraordinary, or if you found a building in the interim, think this was a much better buy, then the county would have forfeited two $50,000 deposits in whatever inspections, and you walk away. So this isn't necessarily saying you've got to make a vote tonight to buy this building at $9.5 million. There's a lot of things that have got to happen to investigate it to make sure it's a smart buy for the county and the right thing to do.
Well, do we not have a building we just got given to us by the school board last night? What are you going to do? What is your plan for that building?
The answer is no, the school board did not give us the building last night. What they had a workshop. They did not have a formal vote. The plan is for the building on South Church, and I believe it's about 10,000 square feet, until that goes to the school board for a vote, and they transfer that particular building back to the county. The county did buy that building, you're correct, but the county bought it on behalf of the school board. The school board, come to find out, can't use it like it was originally intended. So Michael and I, during the budget process, worked out an agreement where they would transfer that back to the county, and they're in the process of doing that. I prefer not to comment on that until the school board takes a formal vote.
Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I was just going to observe that this is, to follow up on my comment earlier, this is 9.5 coming out of fund balance. So, again, it's another use of funds that presumably we would have as a rainy day. Not saying this might not be a bad investment for that purpose. I'm just observing this is another fund balance hit that if the commission approves this, that we would be taking. One thing, a question, who decides for the process to get out? Is that a commission vote? Is that a mayor?
So the way that the agreement is structured is that in order to move to the next phase, from the inspection period to the permitting period, we have to give a formal notice to proceed. If we don't, then the agreement automatically terminates. So I envision that at some point during that 120-day period, the mayor's office, and if I'm needed, and whoever else would come back to this committee or committees and say, are we ready to move on to the next phase? And if so, it can allow the lawyer to get with the other side and give a notice to proceed.
There it is. Okay, so we have a basic out. You envision, just to repeat it, I just want to make sure I'm on the same page, that, okay, before we proceed past the 120 days or before anything is actually signed, the closing occurs, you or the mayor or someone would come back to this committee. We would have the opportunity to review the due diligence, et cetera, and there would be a step moving forward at that point.
Correct.
Okay. And then, because it's 120 days, I would ask that every month, at every budget committee meeting, there be some report presentation on this project, just to keep us, so we're not, to Commissioner can't recall, I'm sorry. Piercy's point, so we're not surprised at the end of 120 days and have to make a decision.
I think that's a reasonable request. I think I have not spoken to Mr. Warren about the likelihood of him coming before this body or the full commission to give that report. I don't believe that would be a problem, and so I will absolutely approach him with that idea, and that I do think that would be important to manage expectations as we go through the process for the next 4 months. I can't imagine him having an objection, but since I haven't approached him about it, I don't want to exactly speak for him just yet, Mr. Commissioner. But I don't think that's an unreasonable request.
That's fine, or even, he would be great, but if he's unwilling, then you or someone who can speak to it.
As it relates to the inspection, I don't think I would be qualified, so I don't want to mismanage that expectation either. But I'll tell you what, I can get an answer on that before next week. So that's something that I can get answered pretty quickly. And to the members of the purchasing committee, that's something I think Chairman Phillips said we can bring up at the purchasing committee too, also Chairman P, about Mr. Warren's involvement with either this body and or the full commission or property management, something like that. I think that's a reasonable request. So let me get an answer for that by the 12th of August, if that's okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So you said you're using Mr. Warren?
Bob
the
Warren.
Same Bob Warren on the PBA?
He is.
So you'll use the PBA for anything we got to do in this building?
That's not my decision, Chairman Harris.
That's not your decision?
That's the commission's decision, not mine.
Well, who made the decision for the forensic center? Did the commission?
Yes, sir, on a vote.
Is that the one where we were supposed to use PBA, but then we got into it?
You had a vote.
What about the transfer station?
I'm
Who
sorry?
made that decision?
The decision, I can't recall on the transfer station, but on the forensic center, it was a commission vote.
So the commission can say that the PBA.
Always has.
Any of the remodeling or anything?
Always has.
Okay, I did get a call from the school board, and that building has been given to us. So I just want to know, you have any idea what we can do with it?
Well, again, Dr. Sullivan and I spoke on this 3 days ago. I'm not sure when maybe the workshop was yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. Days are running together. And so I do have some ideas on it. I'll be glad to share those, but I would prefer to have a formal school board vote before I do that. But yes, we do have some ideas on that. Thank you.
Mr. Chair. Yeah, they work sometime. I do have a prepared motion this evening, if I would like to do that now and then open it up for more discussion if needed. But my motion is to forward this item to the purchasing committee with a positive recommendation of approving the real estate purchase agreement and the funding of $9.5 million to cover the purchase price of $9.2 million and any inspections and studies and other related due diligence expenses, any needed surveys and other necessary reports, closing costs, taxes and recording fees, attorney fees, title insurance, and any necessary permit fees. Any funds not spent would either revert back to the general fund or would be put toward the renovation design costs for the building. And that's my motion, Mr. Chair.
What was your total amount again? I missed.
$9.5 million to cover the purchase price of $9.2 million.
Okay, you've heard, I have a motion.
Second.
And I have a second discussion. Don't hear anyone else from the committee speaking up, and I will speak to Commissioner Piercy's question too about timing. Yes, I feel like this is a bit rushed too. We do have, Commissioner Irvin, you're on property management, that's correct. So you've seen this in committee? Okay. The thing that I like about it, why I'm okay with going with this, is because we have the option to bail without it costing us an arm and a leg to do that. We have the option to continue to look for better property or something that might be more appropriate. That's the only comment I got. Any other discussion from the committee? I have a motion and a second. Call roll, please.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? No. Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Piercy? No. Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman.
Mayor?
Point of clarification, I was just informed by Mr. Smith that the school board is meeting tonight, and they just passed it, giving it to, so you're correct, Chairman Harris. And my idea for that 10,000 square foot building was to relocate the administrative offices for fire and EMA. That's will be my proposal that I take to property management. But again, that'll be a decision for the mayor's office and this body to decide ultimately. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Looks like we're into real estate tonight. Item 21. Item 22, funding for a canopy and driveway extension design work at the Smyrna County Clerk building. And I know Lisa is here, and I don't know who she's got with her to help us with this, but please come forward.
Good evening. Good evening, Chairman and Commission. This is Bart Klein. We've all worked with him before, and it's always been very successful for us. So I'd like to start with, we appreciate the expansion of the parking lot at the Smyrna location. The 22 extra parking spots is going to relieve the much overcrowded parking situation that we have in Smyrna at 205 I Street. So, I guess here, I got the clicker. So, if you don't mind, I want to show you all some pictures. Some of them are the parking lot, the others will show the drive-through canopy area, and that is what I'm actually addressing tonight. So. So the street you see in front of it, that's I Street. The little street coming toward us is the street that leads from Weekly Lane. So you can see there where the parking is up and down I Street. You can somewhat see the drive-through area, but it's not a good photo. This too is I Street. It actually will show the traffic backed up at the canopy. This, you see they're parked on both sides of the street. Again, the additional parking is going to relieve this situation. And again, I believe this is a safety issue as well. So you see the burgundy car? That is backed up to go through the canopy. You can see the burgundy vehicle, the next one, the red truck. All of that is ready to go through the drive-through. Again, this is the drive-through. This was as of last Thursday. It's circled in red. Those vehicles are lined up down I Street, starting onto the little street going on to Weekly. This is going through the drive-through. Here it is again, again, and again. Those are my last ones. So to put the numbers, some of you have already heard this, but these are the numbers as of last Thursday afternoon. As of today, from January the 1st, 2025 through July the 31st, 2025, that drive-through has produced 17,466 transactions. This time last year, from all of last year, January the 1st, 2024 to December the 31st, 2024, That drive-through produced 28,668 transactions. So if we stay on this course, we could see up to an additional 35,000 transactions. So I'm telling you these numbers, showing you these pictures to explain and demonstrate the need we have for an additional drive-through window. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Klein here so that he can tell you his role in this.
Good evening, Bart Klein with Klein Smith Associates. Coming here to you today, so as you know, we are starting the process for design for the EMS. The forensics is underway. So one thing that I believe the commission did is they funded, when they funded the forensics, they also funded the site work and all the work for the EMS, which also included the drive lane and parking for Lisa Kroll's building. So after that, it was expressed that we need this extension of drive-through canopy. So similar to the one stop where it goes and has the vacuum tubing system, provides 2 lanes. We got our fees roughly $11,300 for engineering and architecture to do all the studies, and then we will bid that work out. That work will be bid with the EMS building, so we save on costs for general conditions and not have to go through a separate bid process with a contractor. So once we get the design done, we figure it out, what it costs, we bid it. After we get a number, it'll come before the bodies and you guys can say yes or no. We designed that building, I want to say 25 years ago. I think Michael was actually the civil. I think my father was the architect. I haven't stepped foot in that building, so I don't know what I'm getting into yet. But you know, we may get this done for $100,000. We may get this done for $300,000, and that's what we're getting ready to do, is do the study and see what it's going to take to get it done. Any questions?
So what are you looking for us tonight?
I believe tonight is the approval of $11,313 for the architectural and engineering fee to start that process.
Mr. Chairman.
You're recognized, Commissioner Irvin.
Thank you. Yeah, this was discussed in property management, and there was concern about the unknown cost at this point. So I think the consensus was at that point to go ahead and spend $11,000. Again, I'll just point this out of fund balance. Okay, another item coming out of fund balance. Okay, but that's what we got. So to spend the $11,000 to get an estimate of the cost and then decide whether or not to move forward, you know, at whatever cost was determined as according to the drawings and your estimates, basically.
Yeah, and it won't be an estimate. We're actually going to bid that out publicly with the EMS building, so it'll be assumed in that cost. So we will be coming back to you with a cost of, here's what the EMS and this thing cost. And so you'll be able to say, okay, well, it's worth that amount of money to do the new EMS station and do the extension of the canopy.
It'll be separately stated, right? So we'll have the opportunity, it will be separately stated.
Correct. What we'll have to do is, when we bid it out, we'll have to ask in the bid for the contractor to provide 2 separate costs. That would be the ability for you to see that number by itself.
And then we can make it, then my understanding is property management and budget, any else that's appropriate, would then have the opportunity to say yea or nay.
We have 60 days. Yeah, once you bid the project out publicly, statute holds that contractor, if you write it in the general conditions, they hold their fee up to 60 days. So yes, we'll have to come back through these meetings fairly quickly. I think if you guys remember on the forensic side, when we were coming through, we were going through the bidding process, tariffs hit, and the equipment in Canada, like if that wasn't locked in, then in the following week, that equipment was going to go up 20%. We're still dealing with that stuff. Commissioner Harris, I know you know about tariffs right now, but you know, we don't have a crystal ball. So best path forward is, as we're saying, design it, bid it, bring it to this body. You guys know exactly what it costs. You can yea or nay it.
I have a motion to approve $11,000 to allow a design for the building. I hear a second.
Was it 11 or 11.3, or what was the exact number? I want to make sure.
$11,313.
Okay, the motion is for that amount, 11,003. Would you state that amount one more time?
$11,313.
You got that, Michael?
And motion for that, to take that out of fund balance.
Okay, do I hear a second? And I thought I heard a second, but I'm having trouble seeing everybody.
Second.
Commissioner Gooch seconds the motion. Any discussion? I want to discuss for just a moment, since I don't see anybody else. Commissioner Irving has brought up a very good question, and that's how fund balance is spent and overruns. And we're all aware, this is not coming out of my pocket, it's coming out of all of ours and our citizens' pockets. And I just want to ask, and I'll do the same thing Commissioner Irvin's asked, I'd like a running tally on where we're at on this fund balance. I see the need here. I think 11,300 and whatever dollars it is way too much to pay anybody to draw a canopy in a window so somebody could take money in, personally speaking. Personally speaking, I'd be looking at another architect to help us with that if I continue to see prices like that, personally speaking. But I see a need here. Anyway, any other discussion from the committee? And Michael, as I said, please, I do want a running count. You don't have to give it to me this evening, but I do want that by our next meeting. Any other discussion from committee? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Piercy? Yes. Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Peak?
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. That was item 22. Item 23, solid waste budget amendment. Matt, come on up. Seems like I just saw this guy the other night.
Good evening. I'm Matt Davis. You're Assistant Director of the Solid Waste Department. We are asking for this budget amendment to restore money from last year's budget that was not used for material to cover the old landfill properly. We've had difficulty with the weather and obtaining material, and it was an oversight that this was not put in this year's budget, and we're just asking for that money that was not touched to be allowed to our department.
Commissioner Piercy and I saw this the other night, our Public Works, and basically this is a requirement from the state, and this is something we have to do. The amount of money that's being added there is going to make it an adequate amount of money to do this requirement. Mr. Piercy, you want to comment on it?
The way I understood this, the money was in last year's budget, never used. It was turned back in,
Yes,
correct? General
Yes, sir.
fund. They're needing the money back into this budget so they can come in compliance. This is to buy soil, is that not right?
Yes.
I make the motion to approve this.
Second.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second? Commissioner Johnson, seconds for this transfer,
Mr.
solid
Chairman.
waste.
You said general fund. I need to clarify for the minutes. It's going to be out of their solid waste fund. I just need to clarify that for the minutes.
Okay, is that okay with the second, Commissioner Johnson? Yes. All right, any other discussion? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris? Commissioner Irvin? Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Piercy? Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes, motion carries. Item 24, the Opioid Committee recommendations and related budget amendments. Michael, you want to get that for us, please?
Yes. So Wednesday of this week, the opioid committee met. You can see the budget amendment in front of you. They approved an additional $409,790 to be allocated or appropriated for, the nonprofit items that you see on the explanation down there. It's $45,833.50 to Graceful Gems, $224,044.82 to the Journey Home, $10,863 to Doors of Hope, and $129,048 to Renewed Life Ministries for opioid abatement. The other thing I'll mention as part of this amendment is you'll notice at the end of last year up there, it's $2.2 million that we carried forward as part of the budget. This will bring the total allocated of a lot of that money to $1.7 million there. So they've about allocated all of the money that they've received last year. So they've now allocated $1.7 million, and plus there's a little more to MTSU. So that's just to kind of give you all a running total. That's kind of a summary there.
Okay, you've seen this. Basically, we're a pass-through for this state money. Do I hear
Mr.
it?
Chairman, what is Graceful Gems? Who is Jake Graceful? I'm not familiar with them.
They're a group, since I was in there, that works, right now they're working with Murfreesboro City Schools in Northfield, and basically they are helping at-risk children whose families have been affected by drugs, and they're helping with, I think, food and clothing, that kind of thing, and they're teaching them life skills. So that's their group. They are a new group, and yes, we hadn't heard anything. We gave them, I think, around half of what they actually requested. So you've heard the request there is to approve what the opioid board had approved to send to the commission. So moved. Commissioner Chairman Harris.
Second.
Moves. Do I hear a second? Second. And a second. Mr. Johnson. Any further questions? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Irvin? Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Piercy? Commissioner Sereno? Commissioner P?
Yes, motion carries. That gets us to other business, and I've got a couple things that I want to bring up right at the end. But before we do, I'm going to request Mayor Carr, if you would like to speak about the transfer station. He gave us a presentation at Public Works the other night and has requested to do the same here.
Mike, did we load that presentation? My apologies. I can give you the numbers, which is the relevant part. The July numbers for the Rutherford County Transfer Station was for, we received 15,930,020 pounds. That equates to 7,965 tons. Our gross receipts for that same period of time was $653,797.54 for a return back to the solid waste department of a net of $66,616.27. So I'm pretty pleased with the results. As of end of the day today, for the month of August, we've done 2,074 tons through today. And I'll be glad to take questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
How much did you say was returned?
Oh, I'm sorry. Net back to the solid waste department, $66,616.27.
Thank you, Mayor Carr.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gooch? I need to clarify, that would be based on the billings. So when you see the fund balance report, I don't know, anybody tied me to that. That is not, there was not a check written to the county for 60, whatever that number was. So please don't go ticking and tying the fund balance reports there.
Okay, that gets us down to the couple of things I wanted to say. First, I want to say thank you, Mike Hughes, for sticking around and keeping us straight and showing us all the different pictures of these facilities. Next, Sonia, I'm going to surprise her for a second, but it's about that time of year where we do our yearly evaluations for the finance director. I'm not sure if we've got a timetable on that, Sonia, but we usually do that through, I don't know, I forget the Survey Monkey, I believe is who we've used in the past. But would it be possible to get that out this month, or what do you think, Sonia? She says yes, so you will be receiving an email or be contacted to do the yearly evaluation for the finance director. At the same time, the rest of the commissioners will also receive that same survey. But I wanted to bring that up to prepare you for that. The last thing I wanted to mention, you noticed we had a couple of items that we didn't get on our iPads. And one of the main reasons it's not happening, this is probably the busiest month of the year for Michael's group. You've got all the year-end balances that have to be done. And one of the big impediments that we've had is our assistant director, Mark Tucker, has been in serious condition and not able to work some. Anyway, I was going to call on Commissioner Gooch to offer a prayer for him, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As everyone knows, Mark, and what he's been through the last several years. As a personal friend to not only me, but I know all of you guys too, and what he's done for the county and for Michael, for the commission in particular, and the finance department. We've kept up with his progress, and he's having some more surgery, and just want to offer a prayer on his behalf. So if you bow with me. Oh, Father, we love you and we praise your name, for we know that all good comes from you. And Father, our hearts are a little heavy tonight, a little sad, for we know that Mark and his family are struggling with his health, with the cancer that's invaded his body. And so, Father, that we would ask and beg of you that you would give him some peace from the pain, that you would let these surgeries be successful, and that you bless his family, give them strength during this time. And we thank you so much, Father, for the courage of Mark and his willingness to fight, and try to survive this. And we know that he is a good and faithful servant for you, and we ask that you would intervene with this cancer and help just blight it out, Father. That's our request to you, and we thank you for this and all things through Jesus' name.
Thank you. There being no other business, we are adjourned.